What's up, peeps?
The reason that I'm making this video was because of a question from a viewer, and I will happily answer him. And I thought while I'm at it, I'll also add some other tips and tricks for newer people. So without further ado, let's get into the very first one, which was his question. He was wondering how to get up this pillar right here without using any dashing. It's actually fairly simple, but it does require a little bit of practice. I will just do it once and you can kind of copy me. So the thing here is that you should not spam your jumps, because if you do, you will hit the roof right above you, right here. You have to do a jump, which is a little bit delayed, and then you have to jump. So you have to jump like here instead of here. That way you avoid hitting the roofs, and from there it is just a matter of holding A and D towards the wall that you're going to. It is a pretty cool escape mechanic for people that are trying to reload. And this specific case obviously applies to mention, but there are many other ways to avoid getting shot and escape other people. Matter of fact, I think escaping people is much easier than killing people in this game, because you have such a variety of moves and directions you can go to. It's pretty much impossible for someone to really know where you're going unless he's esping or wall hacking, I guess, if you were playing Call of Duty back in the day. That is how you would call it. But yeah, now that I'm at it, I wanted to show a few more tips and tricks that might be very useful towards newer players. I will not bore you guys with like really advanced moves and stuff, because that's simply not going to happen the first few weeks. So one of the things to escape people, a really good way is tumbling. Especially against newer people, it is basically the same as sliding on Call of Duty, I guess. At least it's comparable. Let's say somebody is standing there on that ping and he's coming towards me. The moment he would be like here, I would start tumbling forward. And the reason for that is that I can get a really big hit in by doing that, as well as escaping him at the same time, because he's facing this way and he has to make like a full 180. And I'm already prepared for that. So what I would do is probably do something like this. And then you have two really easy shots on him. And that really gives you a huge advantage in the fight. And the same goes for pretty much any other situation where you have to escape somebody because you're low health. Let's say you are right here. This is one of the most common spots for campers to sit on this map. But let's say you see someone coming in here. You can also do the same. Poof, poof. And that's another 2 shots in. And if you're lucky, you can kill him. And if not, you will be able to just escape and start medding right here. Most of the newer people will always be fighting on the ground, but you really shouldn't forget that there's a lot of stuff that you can stand on. For example, cabinets. And even these lamps you can stand on. It takes a little bit more practice to get on these. But it is a really cool position right here to just kind of sit and wait. Maybe if you got a friend, he can go up there. And as soon as somebody enters, you can just spam him, I guess. It's a pretty effective way of quote-unquote camping if you're low HP. A lot of the pro players will use it if they have to. It's very unlikely a really good player will just stand here waiting for the other 3 to come. It's way more common for them to just sit here, try to get the first 2 shots in and go over them and try to escape this way. And that brings me to the next point, which is going over people. Normally on shooter games, you will try to avoid your opponent bullets with going left and right. But on guns, it is really important to also go like forward and backwards. And the reason for that is that aiming like this is extremely easy, but aiming like this gets like way harder. It is much different from Call of Duty and CSGO, of course, not only because it's third person, but that is the reason going over people is so overpowered. And I will show you this in another map real quick. For example, this is one of the hardest maps to learn as a new player, because there is a lot of elevation, there's a lot of airplay involved. And that means that a lot of the good players will be in the air right here. And they will be able to do a lot of really advanced moves and go over you and stuff. But let's say somebody is standing right here in the middle. I will always try to maybe hang here for a bit and see if he gets closer, and then silently go over him and backshot him. And the difference is that a lot of people, especially the newer ones, will probably do something like this. And that way you are directly in his vision. By going over him, you have 2 easy backshots, and if they are hitting well, you should be able to push forward and maybe add like another 2 or 3, and he will most likely be dead here. And another one of these tips is probably, let's say you are reloading right here, or you're really low HP. This is something that one of the best guns players uses a lot, and that is going up a wall like this. It makes barely any sound, and especially when your opponents are in the air, they will hear their own dashing quite a lot. So when you're reloading, it's really nice to just let them pass you like this, and it's really unlikely that they will know you did this, and you will be behind them and can try to like backstab them or go towards another position where you will be able to like go over them. Not every situation is like ideal for this, of course. You will have to improvise from time to time. Another really cool thing that a lot of pro players don't know, but they seem to ignore it, I guess, is jump wall running. And it's a really cool way to escape your opponent. Because let's say there is somebody right there and I am really low HP. What I would probably do is try to get myself in this position right here and get a jump in on this wall right here. And there you go. You can see I just wall run over him. And if you got a really low POV, I guess, and you will only see it like this, I already went over you. It is a pretty hard jump, but I think this is really useful for a lot of good players to start learning. It doesn't really matter where it is. Basically anywhere where you got like a little corner, you can do this. One of the first things you will learn as a new guns player is wall running. And that basically just goes for like going up a wall like this. Or maybe if you're a little bit more advanced, you can do it with a jump and do it like this. That will go a little bit quicker. And once you are really good, you will be able to do tricks like this. I just escaped that entire corner by going in one smooth motion. And let's say he was standing right there. It is incredibly hard to track me. It will probably be something like this. And then I've already left. Of course, the better plays will eventually catch you up, and the more people that notice, the more people will do it probably. But that doesn't really matter. I'm here to help the newer ones and maybe even some advanced players to get better. Another thing not a lot of people know is that corner jumps are also possible. And they will usually just, instead of going like this, they will put you right up there. It's basically like a glitch jump. It is kind of hard in the beginning, but at some point you will know the angles and you can probably do it from pretty much any direction. But let's say the enemy is standing right there and he knows where you are. Sometimes, when I get a little bit lucky, I can even do it like this and go directly to him. I know this video is kind of all over the place. I'm just trying to explain as many tips and tricks as possible within one video. Sometimes you can also do double wall runs. So for example, let's say the enemy is right there again. And you have to reload because you're out of ammo. What I would do is this. There you go. You've switched about 30 meters. You're about 30 meters away from the guy if he doesn't know where you are. And you're already fully reloaded. And you are also at a spot with a ammo spot. And on normal ladder matches, there will be a shield spot right here from Fortnite. I guess that is the most common way to describe these things. Well, I guess if you guys have any more ideas on videos to make, please let me know. It was a pleasure, and I'll see you in the next one.